A couple episodes ago, we discussed this new problem we're having with the engine, where some black smoke comes out, I don't get very much throttle or RPM, and there's a weird smell coming out the exhaust also. This happened after we got back from our Key West trip, where I added some fuel along the way, and we got knocked down and got some water in the fuel possibly. The smoking gun was something I'd never seen on this boat before, which was water in my water separator. So far, I've changed both the fuel filters, checked the air filter, and moved something on the engine that was rubbing the alternator. None of this made any difference as we went out on a test ride again and we had the same exact problem. So now my next step is to remove all the fuel out of the fuel tank and start with some fresh fuel and see if that changes anything. I appreciate everyone's comments on our video about this problem. Everything from bad injectors or dirty injectors to water in the fuel, blocked heat exhaust riser. But I want to try a few things first. People said, it could be like a fouled prop or a head gasket or water and everything. And I mean, it really started to kind of freak me out reading all those suggestions, but I'm going to go for the most obvious thing first, which is just water in the fuel, since that's what I'm seeing in the water separator. So let's take a look at that, and I will check the transmission to make sure the prop's spinning right and the trans fluid looks okay, and there's no extra load on the engine. I had to move my heat exchanger out of the way, and you can kind of see the dipstick hole there for the trans. So I wanted to check the transmission. Fluid to make sure it was okay, because people are commenting that maybe the prop, there's some load on it. I should check the prop. Well, I'm just kind of doing things I can do at the moment. I can't get into a big project taking the exhaust elbow out. It's just a weeknight, so I'm just checking the trans fluid to make sure it's looking okay. Well, I just reached in and spun my prop shaft by hand. Just grab it at the transmission and spin it, and it's spinning really easily. So I'd find it hard to believe that the prop shaft or the prop is fouled. I don't think I would be able to spin it that easily, especially really this slow. Alright, well, we just hit September here in Florida, and it's not going to be like this every day, but we have a nice morning. Happens to be Labor Day. And I'm going to take this fuel line off the filter here and reroute it into my gas tank or my diesel tank, go turn the key on and let the fuel pump. I have no idea how fast that pumps. I think it's 6 psi. I was worried about that. Alright, I just turned my fuel off at the tank. I'm going to cut this line instead because I can't get it off here, it's barbed. And I have extra anyways. I'll have another extra inch I can put on there when I'm done. Oh good, that worked out better than I thought it would. I thought fuel would be coming out of this. I don't see fuel in it. Oh shit, it's coming out of the filter, out of the engine there. If I could raise this up, and fuel won't come out. Okay, good. Perfect. Okay, so at least now we're not going to lose our not going to get air in the system. Now this, I'm going to put in here. Just clamp it on there like that. Go turn the key on and then come look and see what's happening. Alright, let's go turn the key on and see how fast this pumps. Alright, nothing at all pumped out. So does that mean the fuel pump... Oh, I had the fuel valve shut off still. Maybe a gallon so far in just a really quick time. Well, it's been an annoying 3 or 4 minutes and we're about almost halfway full. Alright, we're getting close to that 5-gallon mark and I'm going to shut it off. Alrighty. Yeah, that worked out pretty well. And I don't want to use that Key West fuel that I got while I was in Key West as my fresh fuel, even though I have a brand new full 5-gallon tank, because that could be where we got the water. I think it was when we got knocked down and the whole side of the boat went underwater, the port side, and that includes the filler cap and everything else. And could it, I mean, yeah, it might be waterproof when it rains, but maybe it's not when it's submerged. All right, we got another fuel can, so round 2. I'm guessing, oh, I don't know, 7 minutes. I'm gonna go outside now and rock the boat, so to speak, and try and get, if there is any water in there, to mix up with the fuel to get pumped out. Gotta be getting close to empty. Oh, it's getting full. I'm surprised it hasn't run out yet. Oh, I think it just ran out. I rocked the boat a little bit in the end, and you could hear it, like the pickup hitting it and not hitting it. Right now I'm just going to add 1 gallon of diesel fuel. Now if there's any water, it should be in the bottom of the tank, so I'm going to go slosh that new gallon around, put it in here and see if there's any water after it settles, just so I know if what I was left with had any water in it. The fuel that was in the tank was red, and the new fuel I'm adding now is clear. Alright, now we'll let this fuel sit around overnight and see if any water separates out of it. Well, that seemed to work pretty well. I put it in gear after I warmed it up for maybe like a minute or two, and then I put it in gear and I revved it and I rode along in drive or forward for 10 minutes, and you know, part throttle, like as if we'd be cruising along, and medium throttle as if we'd go a little faster, and I didn't see that smoke anymore. So I think I'm doing pretty well now. I just won't know until we take it out on a ride, but God, it's been a couple months since I've been over here, and it started up just instantaneously. And it looks like my belt was wiggling a little bit, so I'm going to tighten that up. It keeps raining kind of on and off. I don't want it to rain in here, but I have an umbrella I can put up here, but God, it's barely sprinkling. Anyways, I am now going to change the oil. Look at this. And this engine only holds like, oh, I don't know, a little over a quart of oil or something. Checking the manual, and it says for the M12 Universal, 1.5 quarts of engine. Isn't that crazy? It only takes 1.5 quarts of oil and a 25 cubic inch displacement. Oh, there it is. I guess that's it. It's done. Well, sounds like it's about it. So we're gonna add some oil, start it up, and I've been told by several people, when you start up a diesel engine, try and run it for at least 30 minutes, if not 40 minutes. Don't start it up. Oh yeah, it runs good. 5 minutes later, you shut it off. You know. And you also don't. All the things I've read is you don't want to run it under no load. That's actually the highest wear. So like just running it in neutral is bad. I got the oil in. 1.5 quarts. That's it. I need to get some lunch. I'm heat stroking over here. Go get some lunch and then eat my sandwich while I run this engine for like 30 minutes. The joys of owning a sailboat. Idling for about a half an hour. Everything looks clean, so I think this did it. Temp's looking good. I have it in forward, so it's running the prop. We got the water tank all rinsed out, fresh and filled. Put some new chlorine in there. Well, that's good. All right, oil changed. I got the oil changed. The fresh water cleaned out. I discovered a leak. I need to change that faucet out. It's just dripping a little under there when the pressure's on. When you turn the water pressure on, it tends to drip a little. It's not probably going to hurt anything, but I It looks old too, so I'm going to switch that out to something more modern. Clean out these drains. Ugh. Well, it gets all the mold out of here. Out of the hoses from the summertime when it was just raining in there constantly. So that's clean. Looks like I need a new what the hell? Thanks to all of you who watch these videos, and especially everyone who commented about things that might be wrong here. I don't know if we got it 100% yet. We'll have to take it out on the water in our next video, but we have a good start. In that glass jug full of fuel, I left it overnight. No water separated inside, so I think that fuel was clean. So I'm thinking that at least that part of it we have done. So in the next video, we'll get her out on the water and see what happens.